Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Casper Network, Casper the Friendly Ghost, guys. So, first off, real quick, we're going to break down a few things here in this video. We're going to be obviously addressing the price action, things coming, things like that. There's going to be a ton of stuff, so sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys, could please leave a like on this video. You guys already know the deal. I always appreciate that. And plus, if you guys do support Casper, drop down in the comments below your end target, points for Casper, where you are fully dead set 100% out of Casper without even looking back. To me, it would have to be around like $100, and the reason why I say that is because you guys already know it is the true Ethereum 3.0. So with all of that in mind, let's just move on and let's talk about a few things. So obviously, like $100 for Casper is not going to happen over time. I'm just saying, like, that's my end goal target. It doesn't matter how long it does take to get to that point, but that's where I will be 100% out of Casper. Of course, who knows what will happen in the future. This market is absolutely crazy. But again, in terms of the price chart, you guys do see this massive downward trend that we have been on since November. Overall, I have been addressing Casper since then, here and there. But I really do think that this is an asset that everyone should be really kind of focused on currently, because it's an asset that not a lot of people are talking about, similar to Zilliqa, and we all know this story there, right? Like, I've always said that, like, when we are talking about assets that have a ton of potential within them, and the future is endless in terms of the price potential and things like that, when there's assets that people are not looking at all, and these networks are continuously getting developed on, built upon, upgraded, and like things are rapidly evolving, while the price action is just sitting stable and not a lot of individuals are jumping in. So right now, trading volume is up about 89.60%, which is pretty significant, nothing too crazy. But overall, we are sitting stable at around 8 cents. Now, I have been addressing Casper here and there. I even addressed it when it was at like 5 cents just recently. But when we are talking about a lot of the things happening within this market, we are seeing a major, I would say a flow of capital into altcoins. I think that there's a lot of rotations happening on the 7-day span. Zilliqa is still the #1 asset. But I want you guys to understand that this was at 5,000% plus in trade volume on the daily. So when we are looking at assets like that, and things are moving rapidly within this market, I really do believe that there's a lot of assets in the space that could easily skyrocket to the top 50 in a very short amount of time, Casper being one of them. Now, let's actually address that real quick. So first off, here's Casper. Let's see what our price would be if we had Zilliqa's market cap. So about 34 cents, upside of about 319%. Pretty good, right? Now, let's address it at a top 50 asset. So at top 50, we would have Thor or Rune. We would have the market cap of roughly around $3.1 billion. At 72 cents, upside of 782%. Pretty significant, pretty interesting as well. I am really kind of just targeting $1 for this asset. Now, I do have a lot more upside potential targets for Casper. I've always said the $4 to $7 range, as you guys are probably all aware of. Now, why is that? Well, first off, at $7, this would have about a $30.5 billion market cap. Pretty, conservative compared to most. Of course, a 30.5% or $30.5 billion market cap, would put us around this #9 spot. Now, I'm not going to say that, this is going to happen tomorrow. I'm just saying, like, when we're comparing it to most assets within the space, their all-time highs, it would take them to almost $100 billion in market cap anyways. I just think that this has the potential to really be a massive gem. For an example, like if we had Dogecoin's market cap, it would have a 55x. We'd be sitting at about $4.52. That's pretty significant, and I do believe that this is going to happen eventually. Don't know when it's going to happen, but, I could definitely see this happening eventually. Could it happen this bull run? 100%. It all depends on how much the money is really kind of flowing through altcoins. Now, the thing that to me is significant about Casper is we are still seeing massive increases in the holders tab. We're seeing a lot of staking volume flowing in. We're seeing, daily transfers, ramping up. Overall, things are looking pretty good in terms of the overall network. I'm actually very excited to see the growth of this network continue like this. But there's also a lot of other things happening within Casper. First off, we do see here there are no reasons to not stake your Casper tokens today. With staking, earn up to 10% Casper, compound it, help secure the Casper network, no risk of losses from slashing. The reason why I bring this up, and the reason why I'm talking about staking, and that's why we also do see staking volume flowing in at a massive rate, but staking for an asset is a key, crucial part for massive retail demand. Individuals want to stake their tokens. By the way, if you guys are not staking your Casper, and if you're not holding your Casper on Uphold like myself, because I can't withdraw Casper, I've been telling Uphold multiple times, let me get my Casper off your exchange. But anyways, if you guys can stake your Casper, I really do recommend you guys go and check out this website, gostaking.com/about-us. I am not affiliated with them at all. I'm not an affiliate of theirs. I don't earn any residual income off of this or anything like that. I'm just telling you guys that Go Staking has been killing it in general with, Casper staking. Also, there's Forest staking as well. There's so many, outlets to stake your Casper here, but for the most part, the reason why I love this is because when we are talking about staking, like I said, it increases the token demand. It also incentivizes individuals to HODL their tokens a lot longer, so price action is more stable when we do have breakouts. But also, there's still more things happening within this ecosystem. For example, we've seen Casper Labs announce this, sold out NFT LA Live is next week. Now, this is actually a pretty big overall event. We do see that Medha Polarker, I always butcher her name, and I do apologize to her, but we'll speak to the Crypto Co. CEO Ron Levy about the future of NFTs in business. Attendees don't miss it. Main stage on Tuesday, 4:20 to 5 p.m. So with this in mind, I'm very excited for this because there's 3,000 plus attendees, 180 plus speakers, 6 tracks, NFTs, and Web3. It's really kind of focused on some main things. I think that this is going to allow a lot more demand and sort of recognition to be pushed to Casper's side. I have Lunar Crush. I don't know why Lunar Crush is down right now. So there we actually go. It actually refreshed. It's still looking rough. Let me see if I can get to Casper from here. But overall, we have been seeing demand growing for Casper overall, but on the weekly, we're still seeing social, volume, social engagement is down. Social dominance is actually increasing. We do see, some of the top influencers are moving up the food chain. I have not been talking about Casper a lot on my, Twitter. I should definitely be starting to talk more about it to get you guys' recognition on it because I do believe that this is a massive gem. And of course, here we have the daily, social volume, social engagement, social dominance are up, increasingly. And when we are talking about Casper, like I've said, I do believe that the demand will come from individuals learning about Casper and what they are really focused on, but also price action. Now, let's actually talk about price action. So we are on the weekly at massive resistance at around roughly the 20-day EMA. Now, with this in mind, I want you guys to understand that even on the daily, we could see this resistance being met as well. So here we have it. Sorry, that was actually the 10-day EMA, not the 20-day. Sorry, I made that mistake. But all good. Anyways, when we are talking about the current price of Casper, we are hitting a little bit of a resistance wall. That same resistance going back to February 19th, and also that resistance going back to January 23rd. And I'm sure that that is also some significant resistance going back in time. So we actually can see the resistance being met here on July 27th, the summer resistance. Now, when we are talking about everything happening right now within the Casper ecosystem, I do believe that we will see a significant price increase for Casper eventually. More so, I am watching for us to break over significant resistance, more so breaking this 10-cent zone. I think that once we could break out of this point, we will really kind of drastically increase in price to that 382 fib level at about 12.5 cents. Of course, a lot of altcoins are still kind of stuck in this path where we're kind of just trading sideways until the next major move or impulse. Currently on Casper, the RSI looks very strong, but there's still, there's a lackluster of volume here for Casper to really kind of push us up. Now, I will say this, on the daily, I have been testing some things in terms of the fib levels. for Casper. More so, I have been addressing the idea that, could we go much higher than our anticipated targets? And actually, I found something pretty significant. So let's actually look at this and let me show you guys something. So if we are going off of those levels going back to June, or even roughly going back as far as the support zones, or I should say resistance zones, going back to May, we could see some high targets. But I was going off of some of these candle wicks, and this candle wick specifically from May 21st, 2021, actually puts a significant resistance point on our high from November, and we could actually see some of the resistance being met on the 236 fib level as well, and you guys see some of the impulses as well off of the 618. Now, why do I bring this up and why am I talking about this? Well, let's first off address the high target points off of these fib levels. So I've always addressed $4 to $7 being my high points because that is, of course, the prices that we've ranged on going back to the May timeframe. But are these prices sustainable? Because these are ICO prices, so it's not really that much sustainable. But the reason why I bring this up is because look at the prices that we could breach out to. This $2.35 zone is pretty significant. But let's talk about a $2 Casper, right? So at $2, okay, this is an upside of 24x. That's pretty good overall. It would bring us to about an $8.7 billion market cap. That's pretty good in terms of a conservative range. It will bring us to about number 22 at current market standards. Now, if we are talking about like some of the higher fib levels, I know that there's a few individuals that actually are trying to go off of these fib levels up here, where we will push out to like even higher targets. Like that's where the $7 range at the 1618 level is, and then we see like $11, $15, all the way up to about like $34. Like that's pretty crazy, to be completely honest with you guys, especially when we are talking about like $34. Sorry, that was 24. $34 would bring us to about 150.9. Well, it's almost like $150 billion market cap. 417x though. Now, do I believe that we will get to this market cap eventually? But I don't believe that that is going to happen this year. I have been saying this $4 to $7 range because that is between, that, range that we kind of settled on going back to May. Again, are these sustainable, price moves? Not technically, but between this and that $7 range is pretty enticing. Now, I will say this, I have been, like I said, testing a lot of fib levels. I'm more so kind of dead set on kind of going back to the prices that we were ranging on before that, collapsing event, because that is, really kind of showing us a little bit more of a nice figurine, or I shouldn't say figurine, but like figurative way of looking at major resistance. And it really kind of shows us some targets. Now, of course, like I said, this is going off of some of these candles, like where we kind of reached out to. You guys can look at this and really kind of address it, because significantly, when we are looking at the high points of, the November timeframe, yeah, things look pretty good. But again, I would say that $1, for me at least, is almost like, print it on the chart already. It's already programmed in. But I would see, at least from what Casper is building, I would like to see a little bit more, listings and things like that to really kind of push that volume in. And then we can kind of talk about the higher grade targets of like $4 to $7 being met, because we still have to have a lot more volume in at the current prices that we see on the chart to really push us up back to these levels going back to November. But also, we need a lot more announcements, which things are moving rapidly. I'm actually going to be addressing this in tomorrow's video on Casper. In terms of the price, though, I will say this. Not a lot of people were focused on, or I shouldn't say focused on, but not a lot of people were paying attention to Zilliqa until it really did start that massive move. And that's when a lot of FOMO did, flow in. That's why we were at like $3 billion in, volume on the daily. But again, when we were talking about Casper, there's still a lot of exciting things happening, especially with NFTs and stuff like that. I think that there's going to be a massive demand around this asset. And I think that the potential from our bottom figures here is pretty significant, especially when you are looking at like a 10x here to like almost 82 cents, which, by the way, 82 cents for Casper. Look at this, guys. This is a 908% move, a $3.6 billion market cap for what Casper is doing. I would say that that is, programmed, especially because like $3.6 billion in market cap, still doesn't even put us in. So it actually positions us right under the top 50, which again, I see this being easily a top 25 asset, which would bring us to about $1.66 or an upside of 19x. And I've always said, look at the market cap compared to most assets and kind of compare the fundamentals. Like the fundamentals of Casper compared to most is, unquestionable. So again, with that being said, I hope that kind of clarifies and gives you guys a little bit of an update on where I stand with Casper. Do I believe that we are going to see a pullback on Bitcoin? Most likely. Do I believe that we will see a pullback throughout the altcoin market? Most likely, and we will kind of come down and really kind of, I would say, test major, support zones. Possibly, testing some of these wicks at like around maybe 7 cents, or possibly even this low of around like 6.85 in terms of the centile mark. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.